Today, we're diving into The Exorcist.
Dime, why you do this to me?
So as we move into the Halloween season, which is one of our favorite seasons here at Retro Cheese, we're very excited to see this Exorcist sequel that's bringing back the original actress that played the mom in the original Exorcist.
Ellen Bernstein.
So, of course, we had to go back and watch the original Exorcist, and now we want to talk about it.
Yeah, so The Exorcist is actually a novel, which we have here, the paperback copy I have, by William Peter Blatty. He was at Georgetown University in the 1940s. It's a Jesuit college. He heard a account of a exorcism in the neighborhood. A real, true story. I think he may have read it in like the Washington Post. Years later, he was having a kind of a crisis of his personal faith. His mother died. He had been a comedy writer in Hollywood. He had written screenplays. He wrote one of the Pink Panther movies. But all he did was comedies. But he was very devout in his faith, and
So he wrote a #1 masterpiece of horror.
yeah, way to go. He did. And another important thing, if you're talking about the movie itself, horror movies don't get nominated for Oscars, right? This one was nominated for 5, I think, including Best Picture, Best Director. He wrote the screenplay to the movie, so he actually won an Oscar for Best Screenplay, Best Original Screenplay.
Wow.
So there's a girl.
Well, there's a priest. Do we hear about who do we hear about first? The girl, right?
So we start off at this like archaeological site, and they're digging around, and they find some little trinket. And this old man comes up, and he's like, and he seems to know what the trinket is, and he takes it somewhere, and he's cleaning it up.
Curator in the room with him says evil versus evil or something.
He says something about evil, and then in that moment the clock stops, and it seems like they've opened a doorway for evil to like come in and haunt this man. And ultimately, even though the exorcism is about a girl that seems to be possessed that he doesn't know, the evil comes around, and it seems like all be around the haunting of him and his assistant, almost more so than the girl itself.
Well, and then too, it's Father Marin there in Iraq in the beginning, who finds that I think it's Pazuzu. This is the demon's name. And in the book, it goes into that a little bit more in depth. It's a Syrian demon, I think, or something, and it's like the demon of like the southwest moon. When Marin comes in at the end, the demon says, Marin! So they've met before.
Mm-hmm. Chris McNeil, adored film star, divorced single mother, has come to Washington, D.C. to finish a movie. Swept up by the demands of her busy, flourishing career, Chris is blind to the subtle warnings that a dark, malevolent presence has invaded her comfortable townhouse. Powerful and cunning, it is taking possession of Reagan, her 12-year-old daughter. Every avenue of help leads to a dead end. Now hope lies only in a doubt-ridden priest and his fragile elder, in a terrifying battle with an obscene, unspeakable evil that must end in victory or madness and death.
Nice. So really, it's a page-turner of a book, and then one of the greatest movies ever made.
When it came out, people were passing out in the theater when they were watching it and like throwing up and leaving early. Some of them felt like they were cursed after watching it because it was so obscene. So there's you can go on YouTube and look up the reactions from when the movie first came out, and there's like compilations, and it's pretty cool.
People standing in lines around the block to get into
Yeah.
showings of it at theaters and stuff around the country.
No one had seen anything like this before when it came out.
Yeah, that's the thing. And Blatty, the writer, he chose William Friedkin to direct it. He wanted the studio to get him. He had seen The French Connection, which I don't know if you guys seen that movie. It's pretty cool. It's got like one of the coolest car chases in the 70s. So yeah, they got him to direct, and it's really almost a spot-on adaptation. I mean, when you have the guy who writes the novel,
Right. It's
do
kind of
the-
He makes a cameo.
It's the best recipe for a book to film adaptation.
It's a very small cameo. He shows up in the one of the scenes, and he literally says, "Is this scene really essential, Burke?" And then that's his line in the movie. Like they put him in the movie.
Okay.
It's a weird angle that they
They're shooting a movie in Georgetown, which is kind of a neighborhood of Washington, D.C., right? Burt Dennings is her British director on this movie, and they're shooting it there. And, that scene, she goes and grabs a megaphone, and she's like, rah, rah, rah.
Come on, for Christ's sakes!
Yeah, they say for Christ's sakes like 6 times in a row, which is weird. It's her, she's single. Her husband, they're divorced. And it's her and her 12-year-old daughter, just, Reagan, who, Linda Blair.
She got typecast after doing The Exorcist.
Yeah, she didn't really get a whole lot of roles after.
It's kind of it's a shame. It's like the trade-off. You get to be in this movie that's so legendary and remembered forever that you're going to have a hell of a time getting another gig that's not a horror movie.
being a demon.
I mean, what you're remembered forever for is having your head spin around.
Or taking a
spitting out
cross.
pea soup.
Yeah.
It's not great.
We're taking a cross and...
We're saying your mother.
Oh, wow. Well, we should just go ahead. Let's just go ahead
Can
and
we just get into fucking talking about
Let's
this?
talk about our, let's
Damn.
talk about our favorites.
All right, hold on. First of all, I will say this. Linda Blair was truly a 12-year-old girl, right? When they shot the movie.
Yeah.
William Friedkin is a psychopath, but one of the greatest directors of all time. But he would come to her and be like, yeah, we're just going to read this. It's just fun.
It's just a fun time.
Because her voice was dubbed by a voice actor. Mercedes, I can't think of her name. We'll get it in the edit. But she actually did the your mother's in hell.
Hell yeah.
And but Linda Blair had to say the line still, so it's like a little sweet girl saying
still had to do it.
That is so fun.
Wow.
Yeah, ain't that fun?
She had to mouth the word.
I bet she just said it out
She
loud.
probably
She
said
definitely
she had to say it.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And
Honestly, it's still the scariest movie. I mean, it still ranks up there with one of the most disturbing and scariest feeling movies that you can watch even today.
Think about the first time you ever saw it and what your feelings were. I mean,
that was for me. There were 2 movies as a kid, and a lot of it I think was just based on hearing my family talk about them, the movies. But Halloween was one, and then The Exorcist was the other one. When I was really, really young, when those were on TV or something, I was scared and didn't want to watch them.
yeah. And they are maybe the 2 greatest horror movies of all time. The Exorcist and Halloween.
Why you do this to me?
Why you do this to me, Timmy?
My mom, I freak my mom out so hard. I'll just go around and say some of this shit like,
Why you did this to me?
no,
Will you say that to your
Don't
mom?
say that to your mom.
What?
You shouldn't say that ever, really, except for the episode.
Well, we're going to end up bleeping some of that out, so it'll be funny as people imagine
Sorry,
what
Mom.
it is you say to your mom.
Yeah.
It's very true. You
People's
gotta
imaginations are
just
not-
put a bleep on that whole thing.
I know, I
Let
did.
people figure it out.
Let's talk about the scene where we kind of get a clue that something's wrong during the party.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
so
an
Come
epic
downstairs
scene.
and peas on the floor.
There's a big party of aristocrats, all these fucking actors,
Bougie.
all these people.
Actor party.
astronaut there.
An astronaut.
She walks down. She says, "You're gonna die up there." And they're like, "What?" And then she starts peeing on the floor. Pees on the rug, dude.
On the rug.
On the
fucking rug.
On a fucking rug.
They tied the room together.
And one of the main priests is playing the piano and being like, "My dream of heaven is I am the fucking headliner, and they all love me for eternity." And they're dancing.
Doesn't that guy die?
No, he lives.
I thought that was the one who gets thrown down the fucking steps.
No.
Yeah.
That's the main character, who is the Exorcist. The Exorcist
No.
is Damien Karras.
There is an actor who gets thrown down the stairs or something that dies during the movie.
That's Burt Dennings, the director of the movie that they're shooting.
The mom's friend.
The British guy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The British guy, he's the one, because they find him at the bottom of the steps and his head's turned all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's the British director of the movie that they're shooting in Georgetown.
Okay.
Yeah.
Her mom, Chris, is like, okay, maybe you're sick or something. They take a bath, and she starts trying to contact doctors, and her behavior starts getting worse and worse and worse.
The next time we see her, she's like, "Mommy!"
Bed.
She's
They're like, just give her Ritalin.
"Mommy, what's happening?"
Her bed is literally coming off the floor, but they're like, Ritalin will stop it.
They go to the doctor, and she's like, "I'm telling you, I was on the bed." And then they
What is that?
exhaust all options.
What is that operation?
Oh my god! Yeah, the most graphic scene in the whole
Well,
movie.
they do a
dude.
spinal tap, and they do
The spinal tap.
Is that what the thing is? Where the
Yes.
blood comes out?
They
Oh my
pulling like
God.
spinal fluid out.
That
It's
part of the
weird.
movie is so.
Yeah,
It's always hard to watch.
yeah, it's rough.
Tyler, what do you got?
I was gonna say, did you realize that there's very special elements with this movie where they cut like Pazuzu and his various forms into the scenes?
Yes.
Yeah.
And, she's in that scene when she's getting the hospital thing. That's
Oh,
the
really?
face they flash to for a half second.
They do
It's
that in
something
the.
like people don't typically do it in films, and it fucked a lot of people.
It's like
It's
subliminal
That was in
messaging.
the.
fucking.
That was in like the
fucking-
director's cut that came out like in the. Or I think it was around 2000.
So
They did that.
they have several scenes from like his mother showing up throughout the movie before he jumps out the window. If you've ever looked very closely at the director's cut, before he jumps out the window, his mother's face is shown, and then he
Really?
gets the power to jump out the window and kill himself.
Oh, I don't remember that.
And then he does have that nightmare, like we were talking about. The nightmare is of him running to where his mother is standing at the
And
top of the train station.
Silence, like you can't hear anything.
Yeah, and they said that he put silence in there to build tension, and that is a creepy scene for that. It's
Yeah.
weird.
But you get those flashes of like a demonic white face.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Face, teeth, and
Another quick note on the director's cut that I wish we had seen it last weekend, but the spider walk down the stairs.
Oh man,
That's in the director's cut. Actually.
Wait, that wasn't. Yeah,
we didn't see it.
Oh, interesting. I didn't realize that.
That wasn't in the original theatrical cut.
Huh. And it's such a classic scene.
I know.
Yeah, I
Scene.
thought that. I can't believe. That means I've definitely seen the director's cut then,
Yeah,
because I distinctly remember the.
Is that what they
spider
tend to show
downstairs.
on cable and stuff?
I think
Yeah, I
so.
guess so.
I guess so.
They must, because that's.
no,
But it's
I've
so-
seen
it's
that.
so
They cut
well
what's
known.
even there, two pieces.
I'm pretty sure I have.
There's
seen
no
it.
way.
I know that for a fact I've seen it.
Similar thing in like the Exorcist and Rose, though. That you might-
I'm not such a big fan of Catholicism. The faith
Sure.
required for this movie is a bit. It feels fake in the movie, so it's kind of like, man, how can you have faith in it in general? And that's probably not a great take to take on.
Suspension of disbelief, man.
Same as anything else.
You don't believe in the in the Avengers,
Any other fantasy, yeah.
and their religion,
I got you.
but you watch them.
But-
You watch wrestling.
I do. He only watches wrestling because I make him.
One thing that's crazy in the scene, the probably the most horrific scene in the movie is the crucifix masturbation scene. Am I wrong? Right?
Oh yeah,
Worst
It's very disturbing.
So
discuss it.
imagine being the director, a 30-something-year-old man, being like, "All right, sweet, child.
I would like to not imagine that.
I need you to take this cross,
Why would they know this?
and I need you. They fashioned this box, and they literally put it on her, area, and then she just jabbed it into the box over and over again, and then she had to read the lines.
Jesus
That's
Christ.
a deep cut. Right? That's trivia that we
Don't need,
I don't know, man.
Don't
know, but now we know.
Seeing these terrible images.
I
Look,
don't
I had my hands over my eyes, and then I looked up, and 3 out of 4 people also had their hands.
What? I mean, we saw the movie.
We're trying to turn away from what
We saw
y'all's
the movie.
saying.
I'm trying to tell you
I
how
don't
they
know,
did it.
man.
Chill,
I
bro.
don't know.
golly, man.
Cowards.
So bad.
Cowards.
Let's also talk about how there's clay throughout the movie. They find clay figurines at several places through the
Yeah.
scenes. The detective
The
finds these
pottery.
clays.
They're Reagan's.
And Reagan is the only person with clay in the movie. You'll also notice that when Mother Mary is vandalized with parakeets at the top,
Yeah.
that was with clay. So it's likely
It was with
that
cones.
You mean when he was
They had the 2 cones.
It's cone.
It's
Yes.
code.
She
Blasphemy.
became
Y'all
like,
shut
well,
up.
alright.
They had
it
2
was
cones.
perverse.
Was that the desecration?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
It was like rainbow cones.
It wasn't
That was
awesome,
awesome.
man.
Yeah, it was.
No, it's not.
So we
It
know
was
the
pretty
idea
weird.
is that we know that Reagan did that, and they're also
Wait, so Reagan did that?
Who else did it?
You think Reagan left the house and did it?
no. It literally he finds clay at all the places that Reagan has been.
That was
And
a
so, like, the
question that I felt that was never answered. Who
It's not
who was
clearly
responsible
answered in the
for
movie.
the desecration?
Gotta be right.
It's got to be Reagan.
One would
because
assume.
the clay came from Reagan.
While like mom was out doing her thing or something?
Yeah, it's something like that.
Okay. She was a busy lady.
We don't know.
Doing movies, trying
No,
to get
bougie
dudes.
actress.
I mean
I'm pretty sure. No, they have a scene where Reagan and her go to the church, right?
No.
I don't think so.
They don't
I
go
don't
to
think
church.
that they had anything to do with the church at the
She's,
time. of
uh,
the
Yeah,
I
desecration.
think we could cut in that scene that we were talking about where they go to the church together.
That would be good. If it
If
existed.
it exists.
I don't know if that's true. Like, I don't know. The idea is that, like, it's supposed to represent that Reagan went to all the places that problems happened. So that Pazuzu, as Reagan, caused all the minor fucking things that throughout the movie that are, like, horrific. Like the death of various people.
Yeah.
Reagan
That wouldn't
has
be
been
mine,
all
though.
to those places.
Burt Denny's got his head turned all the way around.
Do you think Reagan herself threw the dude down the steps?
No,
Yeah. She turned his
Pazuzu.
head all the way around, and then she threw him down the... Yeah. She was possessed by a demon.
I don't believe it.
My grandmother took my aunt to see it.
Yeah.
At the end.
If you went with a family member to see this, I feel like you were signing up for trouble.
My
Like,
grandmother said,
what were you
"Oh,
thinking?
honey, I want to wring her neck."
That's wonderful.
Yitch, what was your favorite scene in the movie?
For me, it's when she starts floating up off that bed. Yeah.
Yeah, and the mother
That's a
later
pretty
on-
gnarly scene, man.
The mother gets. I was on the bed. Like when it's moving. Yeah,
Well, that
Yeah.
too.
she
That-
later explains. Like
that too. I think
yeah,
you're talking about the part where she floats up, and
That's
they're like,
the most.
"The power of Christ
Oh,
compels you.
okay.
But
The power of Christ
Hovering over the
compels you."
the bed scene as well is when it first hits for me that I'm like, okay, her mom has to know that she's not going crazy and that her child is not going crazy and that there's something supernatural here when the bed is
Rocking,
moving and jumping up and down. I'm like, that's when for me I'm like,
obviously.
okay, we're into something really bad here. And,
Not human.
we may need some intervention from some power.
Yeah, but no one wants to believe that you got a demon. Like nobody wants to believe that and accept that. You know what I'm saying?
It's a tough pill to swallow. I gotta say. I mean,
Like how could
that
you?
you're
It's like
possessed.
okay, so I've tried everything and now I gotta believe. I have to accept the fact that this person is possessed by a demon.
Okay.
I don't know. That's a crazy place to get yourself into. For sure.
Yeah, man. But if your head turns all the way around and she talks to you in a British accent after she masturbates to the cross, it says "lick me," and she says,
Lick me.
"Do you know what she did? Your daughter?"
Okay.
I'd be like, "Yeah, she's probably possessed by a demon."
Okay.
At that point, you know,
I'd be like, her head just went.
Okay, and then just snap it around for him, Zach.
God.
Anyway,
It's like literally the pinnacle of scary movies.
All right, Rotten Tomatoes. What do you think the rating is?
we're gonna start off me giving a Rotten Tomato rating.
Yes, let's do it.
Well, how do they do like the actual structuring of those
Based on
ratings?
freshness?
It's how much freshness
This
per
is based on
year
freshness.
did they give you?
Do you mean like from when it came out? Or
Yeah,
like
when it originally came out, how fresh was it?
Yeah.
Are we talking about Rotten Tomatoes or fresh tomatoes?
Rottenly fresh tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay, so no, I'm gonna give this one when it first came out probably about. It's not gonna be 100. It's not a part of the 100 Club, so 90%.
90? Give it a 90. All right, Mitch.
I'm going to say that it came in at 97% fresh.
Yak.
Probably like 92.
Jane.
Say 95.
I'm going to give it a 98.
We're all in the 90s.
You're all wrong.
How wrong?
86%.
That means I win.
Whoa.
IMDb rating.
IMDb.
My bidet.
It's out of 10.
We certainly won't be getting in love with them.
So IMDb, I'm gonna give it a. I'm gonna stick with a 90. I'm a 9. Give me a 9 out of 10.
Yeah. Mitch.
I'm going to say 8.5.
I'm going to say 8 just because IMDb seems to be lower usually.
Yeah.
But it did trick us last time and was opposite. It went higher. I'm going to say 9.
Okay.
8.1.
Oh.
I almost got it. Final thoughts on The Exorcist?
Watch it.
I'm super excited to see this new one.
Yeah, David Gordon Green, the guy behind and Danny McBride,
Danny McBride,
the team behind the latest Halloween trilogy.
which we're going to watch and talk about.
Yeah, we're going to do a Retro Cheese episode on that coming up. But they're the guys behind this new Exorcist movie, The Exorcist Believer, in theaters. I think it's, what is it, October 6th, I think? Is it Friday?
Couldn't tell you.
So
I mean, we're sponsored by them, so we got to make sure we get this right.
Yeah, that's
likes and subscribes as much as you can, guys. Love all the attention.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, subscribe.
October 6th, confirmed
October 6th confirmed.
for the Exorcist movie.
We're also this episode should drop, I guess, the day before.
We're gonna try to maybe do
Drops when it drops, baby.
Yeah, and I mean,
Drops
find us
when
on
it drops,
Patreon.
baby. Also, check out later in October. We're going to try to get as spooky as possible. We have a Friday the 13th in October this year, so we're going to do a Friday the 13th retrospective.
There we go.
And, may do a live stream. I don't know. We'll see. And then maybe a couple other surprises in there, but we're going to follow it up with a Halloween either retrospective. We don't know yet.
We're not sure.
Just Halloween.
Stay
shit.
tuned.
We going to celebrate the
Big
foot
All
man.
things Halloween.
It's going to be
Big
good.
plans are in store.
Patreon.
Just know that. It's going to be a big load.
Look at our Patreon.
Consider this pre-ween.
So
Like and subscribe.
like and subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Please comment. Tell us what you think. Tell us your opinions on all these movies that we talk about.
I don't read it.
Retro Cheese. If you really, really want to help us out, please go to patreon.com/retro cheese. Join it. Give us money. We need it to buy cool things. And
Those things.
Like new action
One of
figures.
those.
Those
Yeah.
things.
Not nice things, just some things.
And we want to do
We
a
can't have
contest.
nice things.
Let's
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about the giveaway
Contest?
we want to do.
yeah, we're gonna do giveaways. We're trying to work out a situation where we have little Easter eggs put into each video, and then the people that really watch the videos from start to finish will find the things. And I'm knocking more figures over as I speak.
Destroying.
You
Destruction.
could win a
Delete.
figure.
You could win a sweet NECA figure like this Ripley from Aliens.
No, you couldn't win that.
But maybe one like it.
So anyway, yeah, Retro Cheese. Thanks a lot, guys. This has been The Exorcist. I'm Jan.
I'm Yak.
I'm Yitch.
I'm Taylor.
I'm Jim.
I'm Frank.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Adios.
Christ compels you! The power of Christ compels you! The power of Christ compels you! The power of Christ compels you!